just got together, so it's a little weird that you were asking us to be in the book. You know. Yeah, there you go. There's Eric J. Parker, everybody. Yeah, we've been together for, what is it, 3.5 years? Something like that, yeah. We still argue on what the day was. Like most couples. One couple has one date, the other couple has another date. That date, one date is the date that you actually met, the date you actually had sex, that date. So we got some prizes to give away to everybody. All the couples in the room. Whether you're straight or gay, it doesn't matter. Couples are a couple, you still fight, still argue, still wonder where the hell's your partner be at when it's 3 o'clock in the morning, they stumbling in like what? I hope everyone's having a good time. We'll get something to drink. I'm going to start off with, I don't even know. I just know this. I do want to say a couple of things though. I just want to say being in a relationship is not always easy. And so I want to really congratulate everyone that's in this book. Because no matter if you've been together for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, some of them 20 damn years, I still don't know how you do that. But there's some ways that you do or how you can be in a long-term relationship. There's 3 pillars in a long-term relationship. And you guys can go like this. There's 3 of them. 3 of them. You've got to have these 3 things. Damn it, don't. Okay. You got to have these 3 things. One is communication. Would everyone agree with that? Yeah. Clap if you hear me, goddammit. Gotta have communication. All types of communication. Communication where you actually talk. And you know when you first meet each other, y'all talk all the damn time. You just talk and talk. Talking about everything. Everything from the past, future, present, everything. After 5 years, you don't want to hear nothing about it no more. You know all this stories, everything that told you already. You don't want to hear it no more. The second thing that you need is respect. You gotta respect the partner. You can't be putting your hands on them unless you're in bed. Can't be disrespecting them in public. You know how that goes. I had my second chance with my boo. I took it when he put the line in the sand and said, "Don't you do that again." I was respectful enough to respect that. And that's why we still together. Thank you. That one person who cares. Respect. I don't respect. And the third thing is trust. Without trust, you have nothing. There's no foundation of a relationship without trust. If you were sitting there checking his phone, following him, you're going to find something. Believe me, if we all got something, we got to hide. And if you keep searching, you will find. Except for me, I ain't got nothing. I ain't got a damn thing. Don't tell him nothing. That's why you can't have friends. You can't tell your friends. You got to keep all that shit to yourself. But I really want to congratulate Darian and put this book together. It's an amazing thing. Big shout out to Chef Kenny. Big shout out to you, brother. I know we're going to be giving gift certificates away for you. This brother's food is so damn good, I chewed off my own fingers eating some of his food. You and something else with your food, man. It's amazing what you do. One time, I forgot what it was, shepherd's pie. And I was on the set, because I am an actor. But I wasn't acting. But I was eating, and I'm telling you, shepherd's pie I've never tasted in my life. It's amazing, brother. I don't know what you do or how you do it, but you are artwork with your food, and that's amazing. And we're going to give some gift certificates away to people in the room who are participating to my questions, which I haven't developed yet. Also, what else am I giving away? I'm giving away something else. Thank you. Oh, B. Braxton. Yeah, not the Braxton sisters. Calm down, everybody. I ain't giving tickets away to that. Calm down. It's a spa, isn't it? I know they do hair and stuff, so all the ladies. It's a men's spa. See, I ain't never been there. See, I'm not on that budget. I'm sorry. I'm part of the rest of the economy, but we can't afford no damn spa. Okay? A spa is you take the cowboy on and take you away somewhere. That's a spa for me. So we got how many we got? We got 5. You only got 5. How many we got in Chef Kenny though? 9. We got 9. All right. So 9 people gonna go away some good food. So, including me, I'm taking one. I'm giving one. Big shout out to DJ Double I. Right? I got it right? All right. And his brother. That's just his brother. Don't go in and ask him no more questions. He gave me the look already. I came in. That's my brother. Okay. You're in Harlem now. It's a whole different type of brothers up here. They got different type of lingo. Just saying. I don't usually get dressed up like this. A lot of you know me. I don't usually get dressed up like this. So, thank you. I like you. What's your name?
Eliza. Eliza.
Oh, I like that. Oh, I love that. Beautiful name. Where are you from? You from here?
Yes.
Oh, all right. You from the neighborhood?
Yes.
All right. You know what time it is. I say, brother. Yeah, especially you ladies, you definitely got to check. That's your brother? What you and your brother doing at 3 o'clock in the morning? All right, so let's start off with, let's introduce Darian. Please welcome to the stage. I want everyone to give this man a round of applause. He wanted me to give him this whole long spiel of what he's done in his life. He has done everything from let's see, GBM News to The Advocate to Huffington Post to many publications. And not only that, he's got this hot blog called Living Out Loud with Darian. And a lot of people got their information in the community through this brother right here. He put a lot of people on, including myself. And I just want to say that he's also not only a great blogger and writer, but he's also a great person. So please welcome to the stage. Give him some homo love. For my boy, Darian Aaron. Come on up, man. Yes, man. Do you need this? Oh, because he just turned me off. So you scream.
No, I didn't turn you on. They turned you on.
Oh, they turned me off. I can project. The mic would be good, but he could project. Why don't I just... Okay, there we go. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? There you go.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. I appreciate it more than you know. I am looking around this room, and my heart is so full. I have to tell you, I'm going to try my best not to cry tonight, because there are so many brilliant people in this room, so many people that I love and respect and admire. I am looking in the eyes of Stanley Bennett Clay, James Earl Hardy, Kenan Farrell. I'm so overwhelmed. DJ, thank you.
Oh, no problem.
Guys,
anytime.
Okay.
Y'all can catch me at... No, stop. I thought I was at the Source Awards.
I thought I would begin the evening just to talk a little bit about the writing process and the inspiration for When Love Takes Over, a celebration of SGL couples of color. Many of you already know that I've been writing this blog called Living Out Loud with Darian since 2006. And the purpose of the blog was really to give voice to the voiceless. I really wanted Black SGL people to be represented in the blogosphere. As I looked around at TV shows and magazines, I didn't really see anything that really reflected my life as an openly gay Black man. And it was really, really frustrating for me. And when I got the idea for this book, it actually started on my blog as a weekly series called Coupled Up. And what I did was, I just profiled a new couple every week, and I gave them a chance to talk about their relationship, and just to show people that Black gay couples do exist. And I was really frustrated because often when you see us in the media, we're usually partnered with white men. And that was problematic for me. And I don't say that, don't get me wrong, I don't say that as a condemnation on interracial relationships, because I do believe that it's really difficult to find love. And when you find it, it's a great thing, no matter what your partner looks like. But I thought the narrative that it was sending out was a dangerous message. A lot of brothers would tell told me it's impossible for two black gay men to be in a long-term committed relationship. And I wanted to do what I could to contribute to changing that narrative, because I knew it was a lie. But somehow it creeped into our consciousness, and we began to believe that love was not attainable, that a healthy long-term relationship was not possible for us as SGO men of color. And that's when Love Takes Over was born. I said, let me put these images out there, and just to show people that it is possible. If it's something that you want, you can have it. It is attainable. And when that first profile went up on my blog, I tell you the emails were non-stop. Thank you so much. Because of this series, I now know that it is possible for me. It's giving me hope. And the emails just kept coming and kept coming. And my mentor, Terry Angel Mason, who is a brilliant writer out of Los Angeles, we had a phone conversation that I'll never forget. And he said, Darian, you have a platform. You have a voice. You can represent us. You can give us a voice to the voiceless. And I said, well, Terry, I don't know if I'm the person to write this book, because I really didn't have any intention on writing a book. This is not a novel. And that's one thing that I like to stress to people. It's a coffee table book. It's real stories about real people. And he said, you know, just go ahead and write it. It's your story. You have the platform, you know people, and sure enough, once that first profile went up, I got emails from couples from all over, as far as London, saying, can we be a part of this series? And it was mind-blowing to me, because the media would lead you to believe that we're all down low, we're all hopeless, we're all downtrodden, we're all closeted, and we're not willing to come out and be represented and show who we are. But I found that it was the exact opposite. And I have to tell you, coming to write this book was not an easy task for me. I wrestled with it a lot, because I was really unsure if I was a person to put the pen to paper and write it, because I had never attempted to write a book before. So it was really, really scary for me. And one day I came across a quote by Toni Morrison, and it just kind of landed in my lap. And it's something that I always say at all of my book signings and book talks, because it was really the catalyst for this book. And that quote reads, if there's a book that you want to read and it hasn't been written yet, then you must write it. And it was at that moment I said, okay, it's time to push fear aside and just do what I've been called to do. And that's exactly what I did. And this is a result of that prolific moment with Toni Morrison in my room in front of my computer. What I'd like to do now is just read a few of the profiles from the book. There's 18 couples in the book, and they're from all over the country, all different ages. Some couples have been together less than 2 years. Some of the couples have been together for as long as 20 years. A lot of the couples in the book actually have families, they have kids. We deal with immigration issues in the book. When you are in a gay relationship and your partner is from another country and they're not able to get citizenship here in America. So those are some of the themes that we touch upon in When Love Takes Over. The first profile I'm going to read. Thank you, Laura.
Good for something.
Where do I want to go?
You should have figured this out.
No, I have post-its right here.
People are drinking this shit. They want to know too.
Okay. The first profile I'm going to read is Michael and Jamil Smith Cole. Good. It reminds me. Let me say that. The first profile I'm going to read is Michael and Jamil Smith Cole. Now, this couple may or may not sound familiar to you. They became what I like to call the faces of black gay marriage a couple of years ago, when their wedding photos were lifted from their Facebook profile, and the photos went viral. And this story actually hit home in Atlanta, where I live, when a Morehouse employee, you guys may know this story, actually sent out a very nasty anti-gay email about this couple, and she was subsequently fired from her job at Morehouse. So this is Michael and Jamil Smith Cole. They've been together for 3 years, married September 13th, 2009 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. If the black gay community has ever come close to having a married celebrity couple, then Jamil and Michael Smith Cole are it. The pair received national attention and became instant fodder for countless blogs when wedding photographs lifted from their Facebook profile went viral, making them the unsolicited faces of black gay marriage. But behind the unwarranted controversy and lavish wedding ceremony was a love affair that began 2 years prior. We saw each other from a distance in Piedmont Park during Atlanta Black Gay Pride. I was in awe of him, and I guess he was too, says Michael. Apparently, we met at Detroit's Gay Pride earlier that year. I saw him walking towards me, and I remembered him from Detroit. We were staying at the same hotel, and we ended up talking the entire night. When I met Jamil, I was 47 years old. So realistically speaking, I didn't think it would be something long-term, says Michael. But I knew after our first night together, wherever the relationship was going to take me, I was willing to go. If it was just that night, a week, or a month, or the rest of my life, I was gearing up for it. If you'd asked Michael prior to meeting Jamil if any same-sex relationship he had in the past, or would have in the future, would have the potential to lead him down the aisle, his answer would have been a resounding no. But Jamil will become the person who changed that. I was heavy into church, and they were constantly beating the idea into my head that homosexuality was a sin. But when I met Jamil, he helped me come to grips with my sexuality and my spirituality. So marriage then became an option for me. That option led to the ceremony that many have called the wedding of the century. But it was the impact of Michael and Jamil's courage to share their love with the world that lives on even after that memorable day. Quite a few gay kids have come up to us with tears in their eyes and told us that we were living out their dreams. We hope that by them seeing us, that they'll know commitment and marriage is attainable for them too. Many young black gay men have told us that they were going to begin to live their lives differently because they want what we have. That's Michael and Jamil Smith Cole. Say images are powerful, and just seeing a black gay couple in a committed relationship had a major impact on the kids that Michael and Jamil came across. And I think more of us need to come out. We should come out, especially in New York City where marriage equality is now the law of the land. I cannot tell you how good it feels to be in a city, in a state where we are equal. It's an amazing feeling. That in Atlanta. It'll probably be quite a long time before we get marriage equality down south. So, hooray, New York.
You can always move.
I don't feel like moving yet. Do I look stiff?
No, you all right. You cool. You cool.
Thank you for checking me out.
You chilling. Lean back. There you go. You tried it.
Also in my book, for those of you who have purchased it, you've probably noticed that there's 3 sections in the book, and each section has a title. The first section is titled, That's the Way Love Goes. The second section is titled, The Body That Loves You. And the third section is titled, Love Will Never Do Without You. Now, anyone who knows me knows that I am a huge Janet Jackson fan. And I have been from the time I could crawl. Her music has always been a major part of my life. And when I was writing the book, I was thinking, how could I incorporate Janet into the book? Because she's been such a big inspiration. So that's where those titles come from. And also in the book, there's quotes on every other page from SGL leaders and straight allies. And there's one that I'm going to read before I read the next profile. There's a reason why I put these post-its here. I don't know why I'm not using them. It's all good.
From Atlanta.
Sexual disposition parallels race. I was born black and had no choice. I couldn't and wouldn't change it if I could. Like race, our sexuality isn't a preference. It is immutable, unchangeable, and the Constitution protects us against prejudices based on immutable differences. That's Julian Bond. Doug and Gregory Cooper Spencer. Yeah, we know that. The deeply rooted notion that being an SGL person is antithetical to Black progress keeps so many of us at odds with what we can be. It seeps into so many aspects of our lives, quite often in ways that aren't realized. Gay is wrong, Black is right, Black and gay? It's deeply rooted, so a lot of Black SGL people struggle with that idea. Me, I deconstructed that theory decades ago, so I'm free of all that mess. That's Doug. Doug and Greg have been together for 12 years, and they live in Cincinnati, Ohio. And the thing that I love about their story is that there's a considerable age gap between the two of them. If there ever was an example of the love which can flourish between two Black same-gender loving men, when societal expectations and toxic theology are deconstructed and exposed as a hindrance toward the pursuit of happiness that we all deserve, then Doug Cooper Spencer, 56, and Gregory Cooper Spencer, 29, are that very example. With 27 years separating the two in age along with life experiences, the relationship Doug initially envisioned as a mentor was admirable, but clearly no match for what the universe had planned, or the sight of Greg's legs passing by that caused Doug to stop dead in his tracks.
I know that's right.
We met in downtown Cincinnati on Fountain Square, which is a beautiful plaza in the center of downtown. I was amused when I noticed he was interested in me, because it was evident he was much younger. I decided to get up and leave so I wouldn't give Greg a chance to come on to me. I'd already been in a relationship that lasted 15 years, and I was eager to live my life alone. So I wasn't really in the mood for another relationship at the time, if at all again. At that same moment I made up my mind to leave, he got up the nerve and introduced himself. I immediately told him I knew his intentions and that he was gay and was coming on to me. At this point he froze, and this look of grave fear came on his face. That's when my heart sank, because I saw a young man struggling with keeping his sexuality a secret. I immediately wanted to befriend him, like a big brother, to mentor him. Our friendship immediately blossomed, says Greg. That night, Doug drove me home with the sunroof open. As I got out of the car to walk inside, I leaned over and asked, "Can I see you again?" He mumbled, "Yeah." That was the beginning of our 6-month courtship that would turn into a serious relationship and eventually marriage. But that was after I came clean about my actual age. He was actually 17 when we met, and would be turning 18 in 2 months. I told him to come back in 2 months. I was adamant and called him the entire 2 months we were apart. On my 18th birthday, we met up for dinner, and the rest is history. Doug actually gave me the freedom to search around for someone else in order to make sure this is what I wanted. After 2 years into the relationship, and me not having changed my mind, we bought a house together, and 12 years later, our love is still going strong. We seriously care about each other's well-being, and we work hard to stay together. Our relationship is successful because we respect each other, and Greg is not only my lover, but my best friend. I could not imagine walking away from all Doug and I have accomplished together, says Greg. I love my Black husband. That's just a sample of what's inside of When Love Takes Over. I only read 2 profiles, so there's 16 more inside of the book. At this time, I would love to open the floor and have a little Q&A if you guys have any questions for me. Hey, look there. I would love to answer them at this time.
Oh, no, all at once, please.
I have a question.
I have an answer. I'm going to get up now, DJ.
I just want to ask, would there be a sequel to this, or is this going to be like a one-time thing?
That's a really good question. Is there going to be a sequel, is what Eric asked. Possibly. I'm not ruling it out. I have to say that creating a book and writing it and going through the publishing process is not for the faint of heart. Publishing is a beast, and I am self-published, and that was a decision that I made after a couple of publishers expressed some interest in the book, but they were moving at a snail's pace. And I knew that there was an audience for this book, and I knew that they needed to see these images. So I just took matters into my own hands. But possibly, I'm not saying no, but we'll see. Yes, ma'am.
I know you referred to black men loving each other as Esocentric love, or say that again?
SGL.
SGL. Can you explain to me what that means? Because of course I know the premise, but I don't know what that stands for.
Really good question. SGL stands for same gender loving. And it's a term that you will find a lot of black gay men ascribe to that term, and they identify with SGL because it kind of separates us from the mainstream political white gay movement, and it also celebrates us as black men first, black men who love other black men. That word gay is a pretty loaded term, so not everyone likes to identify as such. Samson?
Yes, I was wondering what other stigmas and stereotypes do you see yourself breaking down with this project?
My main goal, my main goal was just to make sure that we were represented in the marketplace of books and in the mainstream media as well as the LGBT press. That people who didn't think that a long-term committed relationship is attainable for them could pick up this book and read it in 20 minutes. It's a quick read, 20, 30 minutes. You can go to someone's house and find it on your coffee table and see a reflection of who you are as a black gay man. So that was the main thing that I wanted to accomplish by writing this book, because when I was doing research for the book, I didn't see anything else like it. Now I may have overlooked something, but in all of my research on the book, I didn't see any coffee table books or novels that were not, first of all, about the down low. I didn't see anything that represented us in a positive light. So that's one thing that I hope to accomplish with this book, that people just know that it is attainable if you want it. Yes.
Two questions. How long did it take you to put it together from start to finish, perception? And the second, was there a common thread through all the relationships, like education, when it came out, level of openness, all of that kind of determined that?
Yeah, definitely. It took me about a year to complete the project, and I had a bit of a head start because some of the couples came to me via my blog and the Coupled Up series. So I just transferred the profiles from my blog into book format and extended some of them and added additional couples. And one of the common themes that I found with all the couples in my book is date nights, believe it or not. They continue to date each other. It didn't end in the honeymoon stage of their relationship. The longer they were together, the more important it was to them to continue to date each other and learn more about each other. Another thing is communication. And this is something that I truly believe, that without healthy communication, any relationship, whether it's gay or straight, will fail. And that's something all of the couples stress as well. Yes, sir.
With most literature, things we're used to, it centers around, like you said, DL relationships, and a lot of those books have gained a large female following, which is kind of serving as a cautionary tale to them. Have you seen any reaction, positive or negative, from any female audience to this type of work?
Yeah, believe it or not, I have a lot of females that read my blog, and that just blew me away because my blog is really specific. I was writing for a black gay male audience, and when I found that I had people from all different races and different sexes who enjoyed my work, it was mind-blowing to me. And I've gotten quite a few Facebook messages from females. Thank you. Excuse me. From females who are enjoying the book, and a lot of females have asked me, you know, when I'm going to come out with one for lesbians. So, and I know that's a question that I got earlier. Where are the women? Why are women not represented in this book? And I may be wrong, but I just got the feeling when I started working on this project that lesbian relationships are a little bit more visible and accepted than our relationships are. So I really wanted to cater to this demographic because, again, I didn't see anything like it. And I've been with my partner for a year. And I need this book just as much as the next person who feels hopeless when it comes to relationships. I'm inspired and I'm hopeful even when I read through the book.
Okay, last question. Now, in my relationships, I'm one of them type of people. I like to check the cell phone. I will lock the door if you're not in by a certain time.
Oh, really? You're single, right?
Didn't I say that earlier?
Yes.
There goes that trust thing again.
So I'm wondering, does the book address any of those type of issues?
No, we don't address any of those psychotic issues. Big money. Yeah, I have issues with that. I'm not like that in my relationship. My best friend is actually like that. I call him Inspector Gadget. Like he's checking emails, voicemails. That's just a bit much. I feel like I will trust you until you give me a reason not to. So that's where I am on that.
To speak to your earlier comment, just for myself, I would say that black female couples are not very visible. I'm one, this is my wife. So,
Hey, thank you guys for coming.
we've been together for 6.5 years and married for 3.5.
Wow, thank you.
All that to say, just a question, on your blog, do you feature lesbian couples in terms of the coupled up, or is that just for...
Actually, I did. Actually, I did feature a lesbian couple. I don't have too many lesbians reach out to me, believe it or not, to be featured. And that's probably because my blog is so male-centered, and I write from my experience. So, yeah. But I'm definitely open to that. So, let's link up. We'll make it happen. Yes, sir.
Yes, I've been in a long-term relationship for 8 years, and my partner also happens to be Caribbean, Dominican. And one of the issues that we are facing is the immigration thing. My question is, in your book, do you deal with some of the pragmatic legal aspects and advantages of marriage? Because of course we know the romantic advantages,
right.
but the actual civil advantages, such as immigration, such as taxes, such as Social Security, is that something that is brought up by your couples?
Definitely. I have a couple from LA, Ricky and Cass. Cass is an American citizen, and Ricky is from Jamaica. And they have a 3-year-old daughter named Jamaya, a beautiful girl, a beautiful family. And they're actually going through the process because Ricky could be deported any day now. And they speak about that and how it feels to know that Ricky has a sister, and her husband is from another country, but she's able to give him citizenship, and he can't do the same for his husband. So it really stings, and they talk about that in the book as well. And another couple, DeAndre and Quincy, actually. DeAndre was one to never be interested in marriage prior to Prop 8. And when they finally decided to enter a domestic partnership, one thing that he says in the book, when they went down to do their paperwork, he said it was no raising of the right hand or anything. He said it was really quick and informal. And he said it felt like he was just doing his taxes. And it had to change.
And that brings up something very interesting about the tax situation, because isn't it true that this sort of marriage inequality actually represents taxation without representation?
Oh, definitely.
Which is definitely against the Constitution.
Yeah.
So the lack of equality in marriage is actually unconstitutional.
Of course it is. We all know that. We all know that. I don't think anybody would disagree with that in the room. Yeah. Anyone else?
You still have your question?
You're good. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I miss you? No.
It's okay.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Question for you personally.
Okay.
Do you feel like you achieved what you wanted to in writing this book? Are you happy?
Definitely. Definitely. When I look around the room and I see all the people that have turned out for this event tonight and the response that I've been getting from people as far away as Germany, it's amazing. It's amazing. I had a book signing last month in Atlanta, and the brothers and the sisters showed up and showed out. So I think I was right with the notion that there was a need for this book, there was an audience for it, because people have really been responding. And I realized that this is not about me. I'm not a socialite. I tell people this all the time. Oh, you're a celebrity, you're Darian, you're that guy that writes that blog. No, it's not about me. You know, I removed my ego from this whole thing years ago when I first started writing, because I knew that I had a purpose and it was bigger than myself. I knew that I had a voice, and a conversation I'll never forget I had with my friend Keith Boykin. He said, you know, nothing that I've done in my career is really special. He said, I have a voice and I utilized it, and it's up to you to do the same. And that's exactly what I feel like I've done through my blog and through this book. I got a great letter from State Senator Bill Perkins. Is that correct? Yeah, he's going to read a little bit of that to you guys.
As a state senator representing portions of New York City, the most dynamic and progressive city in the world, as well as Harlem, the African-American world capital, I want to extend to you a warm welcome tonight. Your literary debut, When Love Takes Over, a celebration of SLG-loving couples of color, brings out into the open, at last, members of our community who have long been hidden, denied, and reviled. As African Americans, we are finally realizing that as long as one buys into the suggestion that one is less worthy than others, others will happily relegate one to an inferior status. My work in the New York State Senate, whether co-sponsoring our recently successful marriage equality bill or a local version of President Obama's DREAM Act, has a simple purpose: to make all New Yorkers equal under the law, to extend ever greater opportunity to all. Similarly, as a blogger and journalist, through your popular Living Out Loud with Darian post, which has served the Black LGBT community since 2006, you have worked to better inform and enlighten people in Atlanta. With When Love Takes Over, presenting 18 same-sex couples as loving, concerned, and sometimes fairly ordinary, you are helping to dispel the supposition that black men are neither interested in nor capable of having and sustaining long-term committed relationships. A book of this kind, which has never appeared before, thanks to the internet and public libraries, is sure to have a tremendous impact influencing hearts and minds. So on behalf of everyone across the land awaiting a chance to stand up and be recognized out loud and proud, I commend and congratulate you. Sincerely, State Senator Bill Perkins.
Okay, well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. We're running short on time.
No, give him a round of applause to Darian for a minute.
Good evening, everybody. I'm back. I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to Spencer and to Darian, guys, for coming back. We did a book signing here with these guys a couple of months ago, and it's so good to see so many of you back with us again. We have a bunch of things coming up. Get on our mailing list. See one of the bartenders as you check out tonight, and they'll make sure you can get on that list. We have